Hi all folks, this is Max from G2Hacks.com, and today we're going to learn how to install Desire Z HBOOT on your G2 phone. Why would you want to do this? Because the Desire Z HBOOT has more space for data directory, and some of the larger, some of the newer ROMs ported from like the MyTouch 4G and that has Sense 3. If you want to get Sense 3.0, those ROMs require that you have this HBOOT, but it won't affect any other ROMs with the G2. It just makes your G2 compatible for those ROMs made for Desire Z. Anyway, let's do it. It's very simple. We can do it all on our phone. So go to the internet. I made this site for everybody, so it's really easy to go. So just go to download AndroidROM.com. Alright, if you go to this site, download Android.com, and then I put all the files you need there. So I made this site so you can actually load it straight off the phone, which is cool. So let me do this, and then just zoom in a little bit and find the HTC G2 right there. And then let's go find HBOOT right there, and I'll have links to it if you want to just download it straight, on your phone or on your computer and copy it over to your SD card. That's fine too. So I'm gonna copy this over. Oops. Let's see. There we go. And one more. You're gonna have to wait like a little bit. Just wait 15 seconds here. And basically, this PCMC, after you download it, you can use a file manager app, which I'll show you, like Android Zip or whatever, and move it to the root directory so your bootloader can install it. And then click on download Adb Reboot, and it will start downloading. And you can check the progress by going like this and see it's almost done already. This is cool because a lot of downloading sites don't let you download straight to the phone because it has something to do with cookies and sessions, but I made those into tokens so you can download it. How cool is that, right? So once that's done, we're gonna go move the folder using a app like Android Zip. So I don't have Android Zip on there, so I'm gonna go download it real quick. Now, why is it syncing now? No. Oh, I haven't used this G2 phone. That's why. There we go. So let's go look for Android Zip. Go download it real quick. Android Zip. Or if you already have File Manager, you can use that. Just gonna download this real quick. And also go download ROM Manager, okay? Because you need it. If you don't have it yet, search for ROM Manager. There we go. And install that one too. And update it. If it says update, just update to the latest version, just to make sure you have the latest version. And I've got the Android Zip. And next, open up Android Zip. And what we're gonna do, hit continue. I'll do it in this mode. What we're gonna do is go to download directory where you downloaded that file, because everything goes into the download directory. Whoa. Okay, the lowercase, that one. And then you see PC10IMG. Click on it, and then ooh, no. Actually, I think it's a long press. There we go. And hit move. And then you can go back up to, this is the main directory, and then hit move here. And now it should be in your SD card main directory /SD card. Or you can download it to your computer and just copy it over, which works fine, but this is like, so you don't have to go back and forth between your computer. And then once that's done, we're going to open up ROM Manager that we also downloaded or updated. And let's update it. Oh, by the way, you have to have a rooted phone, of course. If you don't have a rooted phone, you're not gonna don't expect to install this. Say okay. Okay. And then what you're gonna do is flash the latest Clockwork recovery. Even though I have said it's the latest, I'm gonna just flash it again just in case. And hit HTC G2. Hit allow. And it's flashed correctly, right? So everything's done, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go reboot into recovery. Actually, you know what? Let's just do this. We're gonna back up current ROM. All right, back up current ROM, and that way, after we install the new Desire Z HBOOT, there's gonna be no ROM in there because it's gonna reset everything. So we want to back up our current ROM. And then this is going to go into Clockwork mod recovery and back up your current rooted ROM. And when that's done, it's going to reboot. And when it reboots, what we're going to do is we're going to reboot into recovery again and install the new copy. Well, it will automatically install the HBOOT because you put it in the root folder. Anyway, I'll be back when this backup is complete and when it's done. Hi folks, so my phone rebooted, it made a backup already. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go, if you're installing like a Virtuous ROM, which this is my next video, then you actually don't have to do the backup part, you can just copy over, but you can still back it up and copy over the ROM file then. But I'm just going to show you how to install the Virtuous, no not Virtuous, the Desire Z HBOOT, so it won't affect your ROMs. You just have to back it up and reinstall it. So that one's complete. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to Clockwork Mod Recovery. Oops. Go to ROM Manager. All right. And what we're gonna do is reboot into recovery. Oh, actually, you know what? No, not into recovery. Sorry. Turn your phone off. Power off. And then we're going to put it into the bootloader mode, where it's going to find the file we downloaded earlier, the PCM, the new HBOOT, and it's going to install it. So once it powers off, you're going to hit the volume down button, hold down the volume down, and the camera button up here. Hold them both down and then hit the power button. And you should get the HBOOT menu here. Sometimes it fails and you just take the battery out and do it. That's the best way to do it. So I'm going to do it again. And now we're in bootloader mode. And as you can see, it says HBOOT Vision, right? Vision up there. So this should change to Desire Z. Now it find the file, and do you want to start update now? Just hit the volume up and it should start doing it. Yeah. And now it's installing the new Desire Z HBOOT, which allows us to basically flash all the cool new ROMs based on the Sensation, which is the Virtuous ROM, and there's a bunch of others which gives you full Sense 3.0, and everything's supposed to work out of the box. And yeah, there we go. Now it's doing its thing. Let it do its thing, and it's gonna reboot when it's done into never ever land of black hole where you'll see the HTC logo, which means it's installed. And then we're gonna go back into Clockwork mod recovery by rebooting our phone into bootloader and then into recovery, and okay, there we go, and hit power when it's done. And that's what we're gonna do now. And then we're gonna restore all the backup we made earlier, because when you change HBOOT, it's basically gonna, you know, erase all your system stuff. So, and then my next video is gonna be installing the Virtuous ROM and review of it. And I'll have a bunch of other ROMs. It seems like it's been a couple weeks, but it's gonna be great because I'm gonna have a new Sense 3.0, full Sense 3.0. So that's good enough. Now we're gonna just take the power out, battery out, and then we're gonna boot into Bootloader and make sure the new HBOOT is installed. So volume down, camera button, and then hit the power button. And voila, you see it says Vision. So now we got the Vision boot, and it's gonna ask you start update. Say no because we just did it. Say volume down, no. And we're gonna have to actually erase it. Hold on. Basically, you have to erase that PCMC 10 file because we updated it. Otherwise, we can't get into recovery. What you can do is just actually, you know, take the micro SD if you have a micro SD card adapter to micro SD card adapter to regular micro. Just go plug it in and erase that file, PCM10.zip file. Or what you can do is, since I can do it, some people might not have it, just power it on, and then using your Adb, connect it to your computer, and using Adb, I'll have the Adb zip file for those of you who don't have a micro SD card, and we're gonna go to a computer and type Adb Reboot Recovery, and that'll just get us booted straight into recovery. So if you have Adb already, that's fine. You'll need G2 drivers. I'll have links to that too. Go to command prompt and copy over the adb.zip file over into a folder called Adb, or just move the whole Adb folder after you unzip it to a folder called, you know, in your root directory called Adb. Linux and for Mac, it should be similar. And you can do Adb shell. Actually, this Adb zip file will have the Adb Linux and for Mac too. Just it'll be like Adb underscore Mac. So Adb do shell or underscore Mac shell. And if you get into shell, oops, that's the wrong command. Do Adb Reboot Recovery. And then you'll see that your phone is gonna reboot into recovery. And from here, we're simply gonna restore our old ROM. So now we're in Clockwork mod recovery. Let me adjust the camera. So what we're gonna do is go down to backup and restore using the volume down button. Backup and restore. And let me adjust the camera a little bit. And what you're gonna do is hit the trackball button. Oops! Now hit the power button to go back. Go to backup and restore and hit the trackball button, and hit the restore button. And then find the date. It's July 10th today, so that's the backup I just made earlier. And go to yes, restore, and hit. And when this is done, we'll be back, and we should have the new Desire Z HBOOT. So now we can go, you know, install G2 ROMs or ROMs made for Vision Z, and there's a bunch of great ones, so I'll be back when this is done. Hi folks, I got a bunch of errors, but it should be fine. It just couldn't open the caching thing. So hit it's on a reboot system now, just so hit the center button there, trackball button. And then hopefully it'll reboot into the ROM you had before, and you have the new HBOOT, Desire Z HBOOT. And it's rebooting now. Reboot. And hopefully we'll get the boot up screen. And what we're going to do is, as a final thing, we have to go erase that file. Otherwise, every time you get into Bootloader, it's going to try to load it, and then you can't get into recovery manually. Sorry, I feel like slurring today. So I'll be right back shortly after this boots up. So it booted up nicely, and my I have the same ROM now. I've got all my stuff restored, and basically it's asking me to do this, but I'm just gonna take my USB charging thing out. Basically open up Android zip again and make sure you go erase that file. Android zip, right? And we're gonna go erase the PCM10.zip file thingy. Huh? Oh, you know what? It's still getting, yeah, there we go. Because I just turned off the USB mode, and that's why it's kind of funky. But go down to that file, and we're gonna just go erase it. Where is it? It should be PC10img.zip, that one. Hold down and delete. And you can do this. Hold down and my touchscreen's a little funky here. Use my trackball. And okay, all right, that's fine. And that's how you install Desire Z HBOOT. There's no side effects other than that. You know, you're gonna install it. You can install new ROMs. And my next video is going to be installing the Sense 3.0 Virtuous ROM. It's supposed to be really cool. So watch out for that. I'm uploading that like right after this. Thanks y'all. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tell your friends about my channel. Thanks. You're up.